गुरुभ्यो नमः।
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Can you hear me?
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Guruji.
Hari. Namaste.
Namaste.
ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। हरि ओम। ओम एकदंताय विद्महे वक्रतुंडाय धीमहि तन्नो दन्तिः प्रचोदयात्। वक्रतुंड महाकाय सूर्यकोटि समप्रभ निर्विघ्नं कुरु मे देव सर्वकार्येषु सर्वदा। ऐंकार ह्रींकार रहस्ययुक्त श्रींकार गुणार्थ महाविभूत्या ओंकार मर्म प्रतिपादिनीभ्यां नमो नमः। श्री गुरु पादुकाभ्याम् उग्रं वीरं महाविष्णुं ज्वलन्तं सर्वतोमुखं नृसिंहं भीषणं भद्रं मृत्युं नमाम्यहम्। ओम श्री लक्ष्मी नरसिंहाभ्यां नमः। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। ओम सदाशिव समारंभां शंकराचार्य मध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्य पर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरु परम्पराम्। ओम श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। सर्वेभ्यः स्वागतम्। I am very happy to see you all involving dedicatedly in this study of Varivasya Rahasya. I didn't expect that this much response will be there from our members for Varivasya Rahasya, because it is a high philosophy with great in-depth meanings, etc. I was just hesitating to invite more members. But I see a lot of members are interested in learning Varivasya Rahasya, even though they don't do practice of the fifth stage of Panchadashakshari Japa. Even if they don't do Panchadashakshari Upasana, they want to know about the in-depth meanings as explained by Bhaskara Raya. Sri Bhaskara Raya has done several books, out of which this book, this text is very important, which is Varivasya Rahasyam. Varivasya means can you hear me now? Yes.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes.
Yes, Swamiji.
Varivasya means Upasana. Varivasya is Upasana. Upasana Rahasya. Upasanayaha Rahasya. Upasanayaha Rahasya. Varivasya Rahasya. Varivasyayaha Rahasya. Varivasya Rahasya. So as we discussed in the introductory talks, The search towards truth of humanity never ends because of the intelligence blessed to humanity. Man is always in search of truth. Who am I? Is there God exist? Does God exist? Who am I? Why all these things are happening? What is the purpose of bringing something into existence and taking it back to some other levels? Why this modification happens? Who does all these things? What happens? Why it happens? Like that, a lot of questions are there for man. So many avatar purushas, thinkers have visited this Mother Earth and they have developed so many philosophies. Out of that, the only one philosophy which is the final authority is Advaita Tattva. There is no equivalent for Advaita Tattva, which is later interpreted by Bhagavan Sri Shankaracharya. That is the only one philosophy which can give a permanent solution, one without a second. So, before entering into the philosophy, we need to become an adhikari. For that, we enter into bhakti. In the previous classes, I was speaking about bhakti, but I didn't mention a particular way of bhakti. Today, I want to highlight how that bhakti should be. When the bhakti is for selfish reasons, it is artha bhakti. I want money, I want health, I want wealth, I want prosperity, I want son, I want daughter. Like that, all requests, what we put in front of Ishvara becomes artha. It is not yoga. When bhakti becomes yoga, when bhakti is prema bhakti, the word we have to use is prema bhakti. Love towards Ishvara, love towards Devi. As if a Shishu, an infant, prays his or her mother. Instinctively, naturally, that bhakti comes, that love comes, without any inducement, without any condition, without any expectation. It is natural, swabhava. That Shishu Bhava has to be developed by the sadhaka in bhakti. Everybody can pray for 4 hours sitting in the puja room, listing out all the needs. I want this, I want this, I want this. Not accepting what is there in our life. Everyone want to become. This want of becoming is called samsara. The very nature of samsara is to become something else, to become someone else. We are not happy with what we are. We want to become somebody else. We want to gain something more, what we have. Something more than what we have. This is the very nature of samsara. And the dukkha never ends. Sometimes sukha comes, dukkha never ends. For this, the best solution is Bhakti Yoga. When Bhakti can be called as Bhakti Yoga? When the same Bhakti is Swabhavataya happening, when the same Bhakti is performed as one's nature. The nature of the self is love and compassion. So this love and compassion manifests from Devi. Mother loves everyone and she takes care of everyone. It is said somewhere in some shloka before creating a jiva, Devi creates the food for the jiva. What a wonderful thing. The jiva has not yet taken a sharira, but even then Devi creates the food. If at all my son comes, what you will do for his food? She prepares the food for that particular jiva. One of our Swamis used to say, on every rice or wheat, the name has been written. Who has to eat this rice or wheat? Like that, everything is prearranged by Ishvara, the Karuna of Ishvara. Then, what kind of bhakti we should have towards this Karuna Murti, Daya Murti? We should have Prema Bhakti. Only this kind of Prema Bhakti will take you higher levels. Then Karma Yoga. See everything as Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara for us. Good, bad, income, expenditure, profit, loss. Everything is Ishvara. In Kamakala Dhyanam, in Srividya Upasana, we do this. Success also Ishvara, failure also Ishvara. Success also Devi, failure also Devi. But the thing in our life is reversed. When success comes, we claim for our talents, capabilities, eligibilities, hard work, etc. When the same thing becomes a failure, we think of Sade Sati. Because of Shani, I have met with failure. Because of Rahu or Ketu, I met with failure. Because of Shatru, because of my competitor, I meet with failure. We forget about ourselves. The true reason is I. If at all for success, I am the reason. For failure also, I am the reason. So I used to say, think from first person perspective, not from third person perspective. I repeat, think from first person perspective. Once you start doing this, you bring Ishvara into your life. For everything, this is Ishvara Sankalpa. Without Ishvara Sankalpa, this class will not happen, I cannot speak with you. You cannot come and attend the class. It is Devi Sankalpa. This class has to happen. That is why we are talking today. That way, our karma, when it is done selflessly, it becomes Karma Yoga. We cross the second step, and then Dhyana Yoga. In Dhyana Yoga, I was highlighting about Laya Dhyana and Nididhyasana Dhyana. There are two kinds of Dhyana, meditation. One is Laya Dhyana, merging with the thoughts of divine, concentrating on divine, concentrating on Devi, thinking one and one alone. Laya Dhyana. Everybody knows this. There are a lot of techniques introduced. Shabda Dhyana, Mantra Dhyana, Rupa Dhyana. So many things for our concentration. Even a dot on wall will do to concentrate. Drada. A point, a dot on a wall will do for concentration. Meditation towards the Guru, meditation towards a Rupa of deity, meditation towards chakra, like Sri Chakra, etc. Like this, lot of Laya Dhyanas are introduced. Then there comes Nididhyasanam, Nididhyasana Dhyana. In Nididhyasana Dhyana, we do concentration on the subject. We take one Mahavakya or a concept, what we have done in Shravanam. When we listen our gurus, we gain some kind of knowledge. But it has some, we have some doubts. It has some unfolded knots. We have to unfold it. For that, the best way is Mananam, removal of doubts. Mananam means removal of doubts. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam is this dhyana. In Nididhyasana, we are purified. Our doubts are removed. So for Laya Dhyanam, we need any deity or a Shabda. For that purpose, we give one mantra. When you do it without mantra or rupa, without the alambanam, without the lakshyam, when you are doing concentration, it won't get materialized. You will be distracted. For that focus, you need one focus. That is the locus. The locus is called in Sanskritam alambanam. The alambanam can be a pratika alambanam. Pratika alambanam means Sri Chakra. The chakra can be the pratikam. And murtihi, a rupa, an idol, or an image can be kept for meditation. Or jyoti dhyana, one light, can be kept for meditation. Here, we give mantra dhyana, shabda dhyana. We meditate upon the Shabda for our purification of mind and going further into the deeper understanding of the truth. To gain maturity, to discover the self. This discovery of the self, which is self-evident in every experience, is called spirituality. What do you mean by spirituality? Spirituality means discovery of the self, which is available in every walks of life, in every experience of our life. Evidentially. What is the evidence? It is self-evident. The self is self-evident. You need not bring another evidence because the self is self-evident. We forget that self-evident self to identify. I identify with what I see. Drishyavastu. Whatever I see, whatever I perceive through 5 sensory perceptions, I can identify myself with that. Whereas, what made you to identify? What is the cause? We forget. What is the fundamental principle which illumines everything? That fundamental principle is Atman, is Prajnana, is Chit, is consciousness. Towards that, we are going. But lot of obstacles are there, so that this concept is programmed as a mantra. This is a program which has lock. You can use it, but you can unlock. You cannot unlock. The key is with the Guru. Guru has to come and open and give the truth. Up to that, you can have a play or game with the lock. Kaya ila hrim, asakahala hrim, sakala hrim. Shabda. In other acharas, like Paulachara, Dakshinachara, Vamachara, other acharas, there is no problem of getting the meaning. Shabdameva alam. Enough of Shabda. Just chant this mantra, everything will happen. It is true. One day it is going to happen. You have chanted for a long time. That is why this assembly has happened. This class has happened. You have chanted lakhs and lakhs of time. That is why you are listening to Varivasya Rahasyam. You become an adhikari because of that upasana tradition. Sitting near to the Devi is upasana and chanting. And that mantra was initiated by a guru, has been initiated by a guru. That creates adhikaritva. Most of the people think that once Diksha has been given, everything is over. They feel something they have attained. What you have attained, you have been selected for the course. When Diksha is given, you have been selected for a course of Upasana and miles to go further. So Diksha is not an end. Diksha is in fact a beginning. Beginning of sadhana is Diksha. Diksha makes the person eligible. Sadharana Purushaha becomes Sadhana Purushaha. From that level, you have to go further. So, our ancestors, our great Mahatmas have received these Shabdas from the universe. These Shabdas are not only available in this earth, it is available into the whole infinite universe. It is available. And these Shabdas are observed by the great Mahatmas like Vishwamitra, Vashishta, Kashyapa, Narada Mahamuni, Agastya, etc. Those Mahatmas have received this from the cosmos. And every Shabda, every action has an in-depth meaning. They have contemplated on this Shabda to find the meaning. A mantra without meaning is not at all available. If at all it is a mantra, it should have a meaning, not only a Shabda. But when I listen, Kayailagram, Asakahalagram, I don't understand. When I listen Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugantim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrityor Mukshi Yama Mrudaat, I understand the meaning. It is having some grammatical meaning. Whereas Kayailagram, Asakahalagram, Sakalagrim is not having the meaning. Eka Dantaya Vidmahe Vakratundaya Dhimahi Tanno Dantif Prachodayat. It has a meaning. And it has exoteric meaning as well as esoteric meaning. The Guru will unfold the esoteric meaning. In Sanskritam, what we say, Vachyartha, Lakshyartha. Vachyartha, the verbal meaning we can gain from the dictionary. Whereas the Lakshyartha can be highlighted only by the Guru. So what is the meaning? We don't know. Even then it is okay. Even then it is okay to do that. Actually, when this pata is given, no one will teach the meaning. In Samayachara Sampradaya only, we teach the meaning, we do lot of demonstrations, and then we give initiation. In all other places, schools, they give initiation without telling the meaning. Then one day the Shishya will come to know the meaning through some other Upagurus or some other sources of knowledge, means of knowledge. The Shishya one day will come to know the meaning. Then only moksha is possible. So mantra is always available with the meaning. It is 2 in 1. When it is chanted, it leads to Laya Dhyana. When it is understood, it leads to Nididhyasana Dhyana. 2 in 1. When you simply chant without knowing the meaning, it leads to Layam, concentration, meditation. You may not have the meaning. You may not worry about the meaning. But that Layam will not gain a moksha. That Layam will not gain moksha. Whereas only Nididhyasana can give Jivite Mukti. Mukti while living will happen when it is chanted and also the meaning is understood. That is why Bhaskar Raya little strongly says, one who chants the mantra without knowing the meaning is like a donkey which doesn't know the value of the sandalwood which it bears and walks over the mountain. It is that much serious. Why he stresses on this meaning? Because after the completion of Laya Dhyana, you are great. You have done a deep and deeper sadhana. You have got experiences also. Somebody says, I was not having any memory for 9 hours, Swamiji. 9 hours I meditated. I don't know what happened around me. Okay, what happened later on? Again, the same problem. I have to meet my wife. I have to meet my husband. The same problem after 9 hours. The problem at home will never end. Or my children who never listen to me. Laya Dhyana. Some people say, Swamiji, I have seen some colors. I was visualizing bright, brilliant light. And Guruji says, yes, that is the light. But you have to work further to gain more light. For that, you have to come for level 6 course. Like this, you will be going on attending courses, not ending with moksha. This is something like how to become Crorepati in 30 days. The speaker will become Crorepati, definitely, not the listener. Unless you contemplate, unless you do Nididhyasana Dhyana, you will not obtain what you want. What do you need? That is why Bhaskar Raya stresses on gaining the meaning, and he himself gives 15 arthas. Here we are, and we continue further from this point of learning. I hope all of you are seeing the screen sharing.
Yes, Swamiji.
Yes, Swamiji.
Varivasya Rahasyam, Sri Basurananda Natha Kritam, done by Sri Basurananda Natha. The first shloka is Guru Stotra Mangala. I hope all of you are having the text given by me. In that text, you can see. Vidyanam cha manunam. Repeat, please.
Vidyanam cha
Vidyanam Samanunam
Manu Sankyanam cha Vidyanam.
Manushantanam Chavidyanam
Upadeshta Chayati Taram
Jayati
Ram
Sri Narasimhanandanatha Guruhu
Narasimhanandanath Guruhu.
This Guru Stotra Mangalam is in the first Adhyaya, Pratamamshaha, the first shloka. And further we are going to do Dvitiyamsha. Our syllabus for this class is Dvitiyamsha and Pratama Amsha. The first part has complicated Upasana techniques. So we are interested in learning in the second part. The first part has this Guru Stotra Mangala. Vidyanancha Manuna, Manu Sankhyanancha Vidyana. There are 14 Manus. As like as that, there are 14 kinds of Vidya. And 14 kinds of Vidyas are initiated by the Guru. And let victory come to my Guru, who is Sri Narasimhananda Natha. Narasimhananda Natha is the Guru of Sri Basurananda Natha. So he praises his Guru. This is the surface meaning. And there is an in-depth meaning also. The worship of Narasimha Swami, the incarnation of Mahavishnu, is essential for Sri Vidya sadhaks. It removes a lot of obstacles which come in the way of sadhana of Sri Vidya upasakas. So to indicate that Basuranandanatha brings this name. This shloka becomes an worship for the Guru who bears the name of Narasimha. Also, it goes to Bhagavan Sri Narasimha also. So this Narasimha Upasana is very important for Sri Vidya sadhaks. Once when Kali Yuga was in the dawn, about to begin, sage Vashishta visited Himalayas, and there he saw a lot of Sri Vidya sadhaks sitting in penance and doing sadhana of Sri Vidya. And they never respected Vashishta, and Vashishta got angry and he cursed those sadhaks that this Sri Vidya Upasana will become anachara, unethical. So because of that shapa, Sri Vidya tradition got diminished. Later on in Kali Yuga, the followers of Sri Vidya became only a handful, and they also could not perform the sadhana as per the rules because of this shapa. So Sri Narasimha Upasana eradicates Vashishta shapa, and all those saints went to Vashishta and begged for his pardon. Vashishta blessed again. Okay, if you do Narasimha Upasana, Lord Narasimha will help the sadhaks of Sri Vidya to come out of their obstacles in their Upasana path. So Narasimha Upasana is declared as one of the important sadhanas for Sri Vidya Upasakas. In our tradition, we always initiate with Ugram Viryam Mahavishnum Jwalantam Sarvatomukham Nrisimham Bhishanam Bhadram Mrityum Mrityum Namamyaham Narasimha mantra. So this mantra, this shloka, at the beginning itself gives that energy of Sri Narasimha as well as Sri Narasimhanandanatha Guru. Dvitiyom Shaha Arthajnana Avashyakata Nirvahaha Narthajnana Vihinam Shabdasyo Charanam Kalati Basmani Vanni Vihine न प्रक्षिप्तं हविर्ज्वलति. The mantra chanted without artha jnana becomes only shabdasya ucharanam, shabdasyocharanam. Na palati. This mantra begins with nakara, which is a negation. The nakara should be taken with palati. Na arthajnana vihinam. Shabdasyocharanam palati has to be read as arthajnana vihinam, shabdasya ucharanam na palati. And what it will be? Basmani vanni vihine na prakshiptam havirjvalati. Again, this nakara, which is in between vanni vihine and prakshiptam, should be taken to havihi na jvalati. Basmani vanni vihine prakshiptam havihi na jvalati. Basmani, ash without vanni. Vanni vihine is without fire. Ash without fire is there. And if havis, the boiled rice, the porridge, which is offered in the yajnas, is thrown into that fire, it will not give flame. It will not be taken. As I explained, Swaha, the wife of Agni, will not take this havis to the appropriate devata. Arthamajnananam nanavida shabdamatra patavatam upameyaha chakrivan malayaja bharasya vodaiva. This also we explained already. If without arthajnana anybody chants, it is equivalent to the udarana like a donkey which bears the weight of sandalwood in the Malaya mountain. Purusharthan ichadbihi. Purusharthan ichadbihi. Purusharthan ichadbihi purushaihi arthaha parigneyaha. Arthan anadarabajaha naivartaha pratyutana artaha. Artaha, artaha, two texts are there. Prati utana artaha, prati utana artaha. Purusharthan ichadbihi purushaihi artaha parigneyaha. Arthan anadarabajaha naivartaha pratyutanartaha. Uta anartaha. Pratyuta anartaha. The artha becomes anartha. That is the danger. If you don't know artha, there is no problem. But the artha, what you don't know, becomes anartha. Anartha means wrong knowledge. So this becomes the waste. When it is not properly understood, then it becomes anartha and gives a wrong meaning. That is why you should have proper understanding of the right meaning. Very important shloka. Purushartaha. Purushartan. Purushartan is Dvitiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Ichadbihi. Tritiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. The people who are willing to have Purushartas. Purushartan Ichadbihi. Purushai. People. Tritiya Vibhakti Bahuvachanam. Arthaha Parigneyaha. Arthas to be known. Arthas are to be known. Arthaha परिज्ञेयाः अर्थान् अनादरभाजाः अर्थः न एव प्रत्युत अनर्थः प्रत्युत अनर्थः और अनर्थाः two forms are there प्रत्युत अनर्थाः it becomes anartha and for them अर्थः न एव अर्थः becomes संधि नैवार्थः वृद्धि संधि न एव अर्थः नैवार्थः what अर्थः पुरुषार्थः धर्म अर्थ काम मोक्ष are not there for these people who are willing to have purusharthas will not be granted with these purusharthas dharma artha kama and moksha since they don't know the meaning and besides that they have understood wrongly also. This is the meaning of the shloka 3. Arthanam uddesha kramaha. What are the uddesha arthaha? Recommended meanings atataha purna gayatriyaha. First one. Pratipadyortha adimaha. Starting from this purna gayatriyaha bhavarthaha sampradayarthaha nigarbharthaha turiyakaha. Nigarbhartha is turiyakaha. Turiyakaha means 4. So in this fourth shloka 4 arthas are explained. Purna gayatri artha, bhavartha, sampradayartha, nigarbhartha. These 4 arthas are explained. Kaulikartha, rahasyartha, mahatattvartha, evacha, namartha, shabda rupartha cha artha, nama eka deshakaha. Visarga lopa is there. Nama eka deshakaha. Namaika deshakaha. Again, sandhi. Kaulikartha is 5, Rahasyartha is 6, Mahatattvartha is 7, Namartha is 8, Shabda Rupartha is 9, and Namaika Deshakaha Arthaha is 10. We will be studying all these arthas in detail. Shaktarthaha, Samarasyarthaha, Samasta Arthaha, Sagunarthakau. These two are becoming one samasa. Samasta sagunarthakau. Samasta arthakaha sagunarthakaha cha becomes dvandva samasa. Mahavakyarthaha 50. Ityarthaha panchadashyaha swasamhitaha. Equivalent to the number of the Mula Mantra which is called Panchadashi. Swasamhitaha equivalent to the Panchadashi mantra. Now I have given in the chart list of meanings told for Panchadashakshari mantra. Purna Gayatri Artha. In your notes you can write Bhavartha, Sampradayartha, Nigarbhartha, Kaulikartha, Rahasyartha, Mahatattvartha, Namartha, Shabda Rupartha, Nama Eka Deshakartha, Shaktartha, Samarasartha, Samastartha, Sagunartha, Mahavakyartha. How many? 15. And today we are going to highlight some features of Purna Gayatri Artha. This is nothing but equating the Gayatri mantra to Kaya Yaligrim, Asaka Haligrim, Sarlagrim. Gayatri mantra is Purvuvasvaha mantra. Kamayate Sakakaraha, 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 Kamo Brahmaiva
तत्पदस्यार्थः सवितुर्वरेण्यमिति वै सवितुः श्रेष्ठं द्वितीयवर्णार्थः द सप्तम श्लोकः कामयते स ककारः कामो ब्रह्मैव तत्पदस्यार्थः सवितुर्वरेण्यमिति वै सवितुः श्रेष्ठं द्वितीयवर्णार्थः कामयते सः kakarah. This part of this mantra explains the meaning of kakara. Kamo brahmaiva tat pada padasya arthaha. So here the kakara of the Kayalgiri mantra, ka, it starts with ka, that is why it is called Kadi Vidya. Our Vidya is called as Kadi Vidya since it begins with kakara. Kayalgiri. If it begins with hakara, it is called Hadi Vidya, and if it begins with Sakala Hrimsa, it is called Sadi Vidya. But those other Vidyas are not in practice now. Kakara Vidya, the Kadi Vidya, Ka Adi Vidya, starting from Kakara, is the only Vidya which is in practice. Kamayate Saha Kakaraha. Here, this Kamayate Shabda has an in-depth meaning. In Taittiriya Upanishad, there is one important shloka which comes in the Dvitiya Bhaga, shloka 6, which says, So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. 6.3. So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. This is the phrase in Taittiriya Upanishad in Anandavalli, shloka number 6.3. Kamayate sa kakaraha is equivalent to so kamayata bahusyam prajayeti. So kamayata bahusyam prajayeti has lot of discussions, and Shankara gives lot of bhashyam explanation for this so kamayata. How to understand this? Saha akamayata, lang lakara, past tense. He willed, he wished to do what? To do this manifestation. Saha kaha, saha Ishvaraha. So he means saha and indicated here with ka, and he is Brahmaji. Why I say Brahmaji? If I say Brahman, for Brahman there is no Icha. Brahman never willed to create this universe. This universe is coming through the reflected consciousness Ishvara, who has this kama, this desire of manifesting the world. So hereinafter, when you understand this kakara, kakara rupinni namaha, kalyana gunashalinni namaha, kakara rupini, this kakara is Brahman. But the Brahman reflected as Ishvara, reflected consciousness is kakara. So kamayate, that itself, so kamayata. So kamayata itself is interpreted in many ways. People think that Brahman decided to create. There is no decision for Brahman to create or destroy. He is qualityless. So this kakara cannot be equivalent, cannot become an equivalent at the first level to Brahman, but it is equivalent to Ishvara. Who is this Ishvara? Kameshwaraha. So Kakara is the first letter of Kameshwara and also the first letter of Kameshwari. So wherever you see this Kama is desire. And also Bhaskaraya confirms Kamo Brahmaiva. And that Kama is Brahman Eva. So this Brahman has to be taken as Brahmaji. And Tat Padasya Arthaha. So here we will equate this with Tat Pada. Ka is equal to Tat. Tat Savitur Varenyam. That is the mantra. Om Bhur Bhuva Swaha of Gayatri mantra are all Vyahuritis. Tat Savitur Varenyam. So that Tat Purushaya Vidmahe. Tat means that. Tat Pada means that Purusha. Who is that Purusha? Brahmaiva, Brahma Eva. Then Savitur Varenyam iti vai Savituhu Shreshtam Dvitiya Varnartaha. Dvitiya Varna. What is the Dvitiya Varna in Kayalagrim mantra? Ekara. Ekara is the second letter. Dvitiya Varna means second letter. So this Ekara is Savitur Varenyam. A is equal to Savituhu Varenyam. Savitur Varenyam. Visarga Sandhi. Savituhu Varenyam. Savituhu Varenyam iti vai Savituhu Shreshtam Dvitiya Varnartaha. So in this mantra, two meanings are told. Two meanings are given. They have given two meanings. Kamete saha kakaraha Kamo Brahmaiva tat padasyartaha Savitur Varenyam iti vai Savituhu Shreshtam Savitush Shreshtam Dvitiya Varnartaha. So Kamayate, he willed to create the world. Who is that Saha is indicated by Kakara. Kamo Brahmaiva, that Kamaha, one who is willed, one who is desired, is Ishvara Brahmaiva. So we take this as the creator Brahmaji. Brahmaji is Ishvara Swarupam, who is the reflected consciousness. Tat Padasya Arthaha. Tat Padasya Arthaha. So Ka is equal to Tat, the first equation. And this Kayayila Hrim mantra is called Vagbhava Kutam. Srimat Vagbhava Kutaika Swarupamukha Pankajayai Namaha. Shloka number 86, Lalita Sahasranama. Epithet 86, quoted from Sri Lalita Sahasranama. Srimad Vagbhava Kutaika Swarupamukha Pankajayai Namaha. Vagbhava Kutaika. Vagbhava Kutam is Kayalagrim is called Vagbhava Kutam. This is Vagbhava Kutam. Kayalagrim, Hasakalagrim, Sakalagrim. There are three kutas. Kayalagrim is Vagbhava Kutam. Ka is Tat, Brahma, Kameshwaraha. This is the first understanding of this shloka 7. So Ka is equal to Tatpada, A is equal to Savituhu Varenyam, which indicates the Yoni, which is Maya Tattva, Devi Parvati Tattva, Shakti Tattva, A. A is indicating Parvati. Then Ikara. For that we need to go to 8th shloka. Sarvantaryami, Sarvantaryami, Tadat Bargo Devasya Diti Turyartaha Prithvi Mahi Lakaras Turiya Turyagni Bodhika Maya. 8th shloka. Sarvantaryami. So, Ikara is Bargo Devasya Dhi. Sarvantaryami. Who is this Sarvantaryami? Pratyagatma. The consciousness which reflects within us. The first one, Ka, is collective consciousness, Samashti, and Ikara is Sarvantaryami consciousness, which is Vyashti, which is the individual. So the Padas, Bargo Devasya Di, indicates Sarvantaryami, Pratyagatma, which is within us. Sarvantaryami tad Bargo Devasya Di iti. Di iti di iti. Turyartaha. The fourth is Lakara. Lakaras tritiya. Lakaraha tritiya mahi prithvi tattva. So laha lakara. Lakara is equal to mahi pada. Savituvarenam Bargo Devasya Di Mahi. Mahi, the pada, is equal to Lakara Prithvi Tattvam. And what is left here in the Prathama Kota? Hrim. Yoyonaf Prachodaya. The rest of the mantra, Turyagri, Turyangri, Turyangri Bodhika Maya. So the fourth one is Hrim, which is Yoyonaf Prachodaya, the fourth one, Maya, Hridaya. Hridayakara Vasini. Hridayakara Vasini, Hrilekha. Hrim is Maya, who dwells within us as illusion, as avidya. So this is the meaning of first Vagbhava Kuta. Shloka 7th and 8th says Vagbhava Kuta mantra. Vagbhava Kuta itself is one full Gayatri. In Srividya Samayachara tradition, one Gayatri is equivalent to one line only. One line of Srividya Mula Mantra, Panchadashakshari, is equivalent to one Gayatri. How many lines are there in Srividya Mula Mantra Panchadashakshari? 3 lines are there. These lines are called as Kuta. When one Kuta is chanted, one Gayatri is over. So if you chant Kayalagrim, Asakalagrim, Sakalagrim once, that is equivalent to chanting 3 Gayatris. So what you have understood today? Srimad Vagbhava Kutaika Swarupamukha Pankajaye Namaha indicates the first part of Kayalagrim mantra, which is called as Vagbhava Kutam. Kutam means part. This is equivalent to the Rupa of Devi, head. Head is Vagbhava Kutam. So what is the equivalent mantras? Kayalagrim. Ka is equal to Tat. A is equal to Saviturvarenyam. E is equal to Bargo Devasya Di. Lakara is equal to Mahi. Hrim is equal to Dyoyonaf Prachodaya. Other explanation I have given. Tat means Brahma, Brahmaiva. Kamo Brahmaiva. Bhagavan Basuranandanatha says Kamo Brahmaiva. But the interpretation what we have to understand through Advaita Jnana Prakasham is this Brahma is not Satchit Ananda Brahma, not pure consciousness, the reflected consciousness which is having a nama and rupa as Kameshwaraha. That Kameshwaraha so Kamayate. He desired to create the world. Through Kameshwara, Kameshwari was manifested, which is indicated by Ekara, Savituhu Varenyam, which is the Yonihi. From that Yonihi, all this infinite universe is continuously manifesting. Then Ekara, Vargo Devasya Di, which indicates the Sarvantaryami. Who is Sarvantaryami? Ishvara Eva in Jiva. In Jiva, Ishvara, Brahman reflects as Pratyagatma. That is indicated by Ikara. Then La is equal to Mahi Pada of Gayatri Mantra, which indicates Prithvi Tattvam. This La is the stage where all this drama is happening. Lakara indicates the Prithvi Tattva. In this Karma Bhumi only, the Jiva experiences Sukha and Dukkha, and he plays the drama. And the Hreem is here indicated as Jyoyonaf Prachodayad, part of Gayatri Mantra, and this is Hrilleka. In Srividya Sadhana, Hreem is indicated as Hrilleka, and it is Maya. Now you have four concepts. Kameshwara, Kameshwari, two concepts combined together produces this Prithvi, and they themselves dwell as Sarvantaryami, and they play the drama with Maya. We have done the Vagbhava Kuta. Tomorrow I will not give the summary of the previous shlokas. I will start from this 7th and 8th shlokas. Stay connected. Thank you for joining today. Dhanyavadaha. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Dhanyavadaha. Thank you for joining.
நன்றி குருஜி.
Happy to meet you all today, and I think the subject will be a little tough. Please listen, and this will be uploaded in YouTube immediately, so that you can, when you have time, just try to listen again. And very soon, I hope, Kambika will invite you all to the temple. We all will meet in the temple with more direct teachings. Dhanyavad.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು.
Dhanyavad. Thank you.